welcome back to That Adventure Life. If it's your first time here, I'm Dustin.
And I'm V.
And we are on our way up the California coast, and we don't do long car rides very good, so we figured let's find a hike along the way.
So we're at Gaviota or Gaviota. I'm not sure which way to say it, but it's with a TA at the end. Wind Caves. So this hike has been on my radar for a while now, but we just kind of passed by it, but we never have time to like stop by. So on this trip, I'm like, you know what, we really gotta do this one. It looks really cool. I love wind caves. Caves are cool. We love caves.
Love those caves.
So we're here. We're gonna do the caves. From the beta, it's 2 miles, 2.1 miles with 481 feet in elevation gain. It doesn't sound a lot, but I find it's really rocky and they're slippery. So we'll see how that would look. So we're excited. It's overcast.
Yeah, that'll help a little bit.
Perfect day. So
yeah, and yeah, I believe it begins at this gate right here. So let's check it out.
To get to the trailhead, you will be taking the US 101 and turning into the Gaviota State Park Beach and Campground. You will eventually be coming to a fork and you need to stay right. This will head up a hill that overlooks the campground. As soon as you round the corner at the top of the hill, you should see the parking, and there is a ton of it. Just look for the paved road on the other side of the gate, and this is where we begin our adventure.
So it sounds like there have been lots of reports of people meeting the things that do this. I don't want to say the name. I don't want to conjure one. But the good thing is that the trail has started off as this nice kind of I don't know, you could probably fit a car on it road, and it sounds like it's going to be that for at least probably half.
It looks like it's a little bit more than half. You'll be on this wide road. So you can see the danger noodles with chronic cross. I'm not sure about the other one, so we'll get there. We'll tell you when we get there.
This is a noodle-friendly environment at the moment.
So just pay attention to where you're going, especially sunny day, because they like to be out in the sun baking. So
yeah,
they're making the little muffins and cookies and baking in the sun. Okay, never mind. Call my joke.
You'll be staying on this paved road for the first 0.6 of a mile. And after rounding a couple of bends, you should start to see the wind caves off to the left.
Do you have a nice walk? Yeah? Well, not anymore. At 0.6 of a mile, we're gonna leave this beautiful paved road and we're gonna go that way. So to your left, we're gonna go that way. And it's all dirt road, and I believe that's where you gain elevation. Because right now it's like super flat, so I'm not looking forward to it. This is also where you want to watch for snake and creepy crawlies, because it looks like it's overgrown. So be careful. But we're ready to go.
Things change really quickly here, and V was right about it being overgrown. Things will be staying fairly flat for about 0.1 of a mile, but then it's time to get climbing. As I say in most videos, shoe choice is critical. You're going to be encountering a lot of slippery and steep climbs here, and that's not even counting the rocks that we're going to be climbing in just a little bit. One good thing about this climb is that you already have beautiful coastal views, so if you need to stop and take a break, at least you can enjoy that.
Okay, so once we get up to this fork right here, you want to go toward the left, go up the rocky area. There is a trail on the right. Don't go that way, go left.
This trail is fairly simple to follow, but we do recommend running something like all trails. There were a couple of sections that got just a little bit confusing, and it showed us which way to go.
That nice little road on the way in definitely lures you into a false sense of security. This hill is definitely steep and washed out in the middle. There's a big old rain rut running right up the middle there, and definitely some rocks and all that good stuff. Not too bad. Not too bad. Look at this.
I think all of the rain that we got this year has definitely taken its toll on this trail. If you're planning on doing this trail and it has been raining, I would probably postpone because some of these climbs would be super sketchy and slippery. By this point, we had already gained about 160 feet of elevation, and luckily the trail was gracious enough to give us a little bit of a break. We were now starting to get some really good looks at the wind caves. But little did we know that there weren't only wind caves on these southern facing walls. As we continued on, we found some more caves that are facing towards the north. Unfortunately, some losers have carved their name into the sandstone here. If you decide to visit, please don't add to the graffiti and clean up after yourself. This first little set of caves was really fun to explore, and it was a great appetizer before the main course. We found a small trail that went up the side of the first set of caves. We wanted to go up there because we definitely didn't want to miss out on anything. It turns out that all you get from up here is a nice view, but the view from the main caves is way better. So we headed back down to continue on. This is where the trail will start to get interesting. You're going to encounter tons of little forks and branches splitting off and coming back together, but they all seem to head in the same direction until you reach this main fork.
After that little really cool, fun wind cave that we were at, that was right on the trail, super easy to go. So we came up to this fork right here, and if you go right, you see there's a bunch of really cool, big, giant caves. It looks like you have to kind of boulder it all the way up there. According to a couple hikers that we've met, they said that they're gonna go left and go around the backsides of the mountains, and there were more caves there. We're gonna check out both of them. You do you, whatever works for you, but we'll show you some of the caves that we find. There's a ton of them, so enjoy yourself.
We started off by going left to climb all the way up to the top of the mountain. And if you're looking for a good workout, let me tell you, this is it. I will definitely say that V and I were both caught just a little bit off guard by just how intense this hike can be at times. For a trail that's only 2.1 miles with 480 feet of elevation gain, this trail felt like a whole lot more. After another check to make sure that we were still on the right trail, we realized that we were not too far from the top of the mountain. I will definitely say that doing any of the climbs shown in this video should be done at your own risk, and having rock climbing experience will be very important. There are a lot of really good hand and footholds that you can use on the way up, but for some reason, down climbing on sandstone seems way sketchier, so keep in mind that you will have to come back down at some point. Just when we thought that we had reached the top, it turned out that we still have one more slippery little traverse to do before we could get to the top set of caves. The intensity was definitely ramping up, and you do not want to fall from up here. Luckily we didn't, and we were now at one of the first caves that you will come to on the top of the mountain. If you're going to climb all the way up here, we would highly recommend bringing lunch with you. There's so many great little pockets where you can stop and enjoy lunch with a view. Just outside that first cave, we found another easy looking climb, so V decided to go up there and check it out. There aren't any more caves up there, and it's just a sharp ridge at the top. Besides the view, I guess that this is one way that you can have some bragging rights to say that you climbed to the top of the Gaviota Wind Caves. Speaking of caves, if you want to see more, you're going to be wrapping around to the back side of the mountain. This will take you to the small islet that you can see at the very top of the mountain. This little window is super cute, and it reminded me a lot of the one that we found in Robber's Roost in Sedona. If you haven't seen that video, click in the upper corner right now. This was actually one of the easiest caves that we got into this day, and it was well worth the effort.
So here we are at that little itty bitty cave that you saw at the very top of the, is this a mountain? Would you call that a mountain? Hill? Large hill mountain?
I think mountains. I think, well, whatever.
I call it a mountain. Fight me about it. But yeah, this one is pretty cool. As you can see, there is one heck of a view from up here, that's for sure.
And it's beautiful. You can see the oceans, and I believe that might be Channel Islands all the way further back. You can kind of see it out there.
Yeah.
So it's really pretty. This tiny little cave, if you go up from the front, really, really, really hard. Go around, it's so much easier.
We watched a guy climb up from the front, and even for us, we're like, I don't know if that's a good idea. So yeah, that was some real rock climbing with no ropes and no safety system. So I would advise that. But from the backside, not all that bad if you have
You just
some
walk up
climbing
the trails. I mean, the trails is steep. You just walk up to it.
But what do we always say in the videos that's very important?
With the right shoes.
Yes. Even though this is sandstone, it's not quite as grippy of sandstone as we're used to in areas like Sedona. So shoes, very important.
By this point, we felt like we had seen pretty much everything there is to see at the top of Gaviota Mountain, so it was time to head down and explore those lower caves. So far, even though the scenery was way different, these caves reminded us a lot of the wind caves in 𝐈𝐍𝐅𝐻. If you haven't seen that video, you know the drill. Click that top corner. The only difference between these caves and the ones in 𝐈𝐍𝐅𝐻 is that these ones are a lot more strenuous to get to. If you're planning on visiting the lower caves, you'll need to keep your eyes peeled on the way down. Eventually, you'll be coming back to that junction that you took to go up to the upper caves. If you make a right here, you'll be heading back to the car, and if you go straight across, you'll be going to those lower caves. Be warned though, if you thought climbing to the upper caves was sketchy, these ones are a whole lot worse. After eyeballing all of the various climbing routes that we could take, we decided to head up to this cave on the left. It was one of the biggest caves, and it seemed like all of the holds were pretty good. The climb started off nice and simple, and we were able to easily walk right up this ledge. Things got a little bit sketchier up towards the top when we ran out of holds and had to do a little bit of a slab climb to get into the cave. But overall, it didn't seem all that bad. That being said, we knew in the back of our minds that down climb could get a little bit spicy. This cave is really neat. It has this big upside down ridge that protrudes from the roof of it. And I would say that it has excellent views, but it pretty much shares the scenery with all the other caves on the mountain. I think the main selling point of this cave is its size. If you're coming up here with a couple of your buddies and they are skilled climbers, this is a good spot where you can all fit into it and hang out, unlike some of the smaller ones up above. As suspected, the down climb had a little bit of hot sauce on it. That slabby section was mildly terrifying, but luckily once you get past that, it is fairly straightforward.
Just a heads up, these lower caves here, it can be pretty stout. The sandstone is deceiving. There's good grip sometimes, not so good other times, and there was a couple moments.
It's easier going up than going down. So
Yeah.
before you attempt it, make sure you can go down first. It's a little trickier going down for sure.
Yeah, on the way up, you get all cocky. You're like, oh, that was no thing. And then you get it's time to come down. You're like, mommy. And so we went to that one over there. And now, just as a little bit of an encore, we are going to attempt that one.
With our adrenaline still pumping, we made our way up to the cave on the right. This is much easier and more accessible. You definitely don't want to fall here, but if you have some climbing abilities, this should be no problem at all.
When you're facing the mountain, the one on the far right side seemed a lot easier to get up, and now we have ourselves a quaint little hobbit hole.
The view is pretty.
Yeah. So that was easy on the way up, but
No, we have to go back.
Now we have to go back down.
Thankfully, this one was easier on the way down as well. You just had to be sure to take your time and watch your foot placement. There are a couple more caves peppered along the hillside, but at this point we were feeling pretty content. We were also still a couple hours away from our hotel, so we decided that it was time to head back. Since most of the forks and branches along the trail are up towards the top, the way back should be fairly simple and straightforward. As always, you want to be extra careful when you're making your way down steep downhill sections. It seemed like V and I were both taking turns slipping and sliding our way down the hill on the way back, and we both had our La Sportiva shoes on, which gave us a ton of traction. Luckily, both of us escaped without going all the way to the ground, and the way out was fairly simple. We did end up with some souvenir foxtails in our socks, but soon we saw the road and we knew that we were pretty much in the clear. If you're watching this from the Northern California area and you're looking for more awesome little gems to go visit, you should check out our video about Shark Fin Cove. It's a beautiful little beach, even though V and I did have to do a little bit of a cleanup effort on our last visit. And if you're into stranger roadside attractions, you can also check out our video about the Cayucos shipwreck. That's a fun little stop, and we always love to visit every time we're heading up the coast. And the other great thing about Cayucos is the Brown Butter Cookie Company. You definitely have to stop there.
All right, so thoughts?
I really like this one.
Yeah, I don't know why. We were just kind of under the impression that it was just going to be like, go up a hill, little cave, and then come back. But that was substantial.
Yeah, it's rated moderate, but if you want to climb to some of those caves, I think it's a little bit more difficult than that. It was fun. It was definitely a lot more, what was the word? Challenging than we were expecting, because we got that little paved road in the beginning. You're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And then it's got harder.
And then it's like, hold my beer.
Yeah, it's getting a little harder and harder as we go along, but that was really cool. I love it.
I would definitely recommend that. You might want to bring some rock climbing skills. Just gonna put that out there, and bring those good shoes.
Yeah, then depends on what cave you want to explore. There are some that you can walk up to it, like go around and walk up to it, but there are some you need to climb up there. So it depends on your skill level. But I would 10 out of 10. Do it again.
10 out of 10. Can we ring a bell? Okay, good.
If you have any other questions or comments, any other recommendations for us to do up here along the Northern California coastline, let us know. We'll actually put it up, trying to find some more stuff to do. We've done this road, but we wanted to do it again. So let us know in the comment below.
Heck yeah, and don't forget, hit that thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe so you don't miss anything else that is coming up.
See ya later.
See ya. Bye.